At the end, I'll do a little bit of technical analysis and see what the indicators are saying as well. But before I get into any of that, you guys know the deal. Smash a thumbs up, subscribe, do all that fun stuff. I greatly appreciate that. Also, if you do like my channel and want to support the growth, take a look at my memberships, link in the description below, or just hit the join button at the bottom screen. Greatly appreciate that. What is going on? Welcome back to Financial Journey. So today I want to talk about HYLN, ticker's HYLN. So it has been a while since I've given an update on HYLN. I do want to go over a lot of the data points very relevant to a lot of investors, go over some technicals at the end, see what the indicators are saying, and give you my thoughts on HYLN at the end. But before I get into any of that, you guys know the deal. Smash the thumbs up, subscribe, do all that fun stuff. I greatly appreciate that. If you do like my channel and want to support the growth, take a look at my memberships, link in the description below, or just hit the join button at the bottom screen. Greatly appreciate that. With that said, let's get right into it. So as you can see, there's a little bit of momentum, but unfortunately it did get killed with the rest of the market. There is a lot of fears lingering, especially about inflation, rate hikes, COVID. There is a lot of fears to touch on, but right now I'm not going to talk on those, but that is what basically caused a little bit of a sell-off today. We are starting to bounce back and hold our support very well. So on this front, on a daily basis, it's not looking too bad. So just going over some data points for HYLN. Right now, 1384 is the short interest, down 20% on a weekly basis. That is good at the end of the day because it definitely does show that there's a lot of upside, and I'm going to touch on why. Right now as well, utilization is 62.73. Day by day change, it did actually go down 2.62%, which works out to be 481,000 shares being returned. So overall, there is a lot of good things when it comes to HYLN, just looking at the short interest. And I bring up short interest not necessarily because it's going to be a short squeeze, but these are the individuals that are betting that it's going to go down. These are the people that clearly are against your views, and clearly you are watching this video because you are either a fan of HYLN or you are an investor. But regardless, with that though, there is a lot of institutional purchasing going on. So as far as institutions and hedge funds, obviously majority of them have been maintaining their position because when it comes down to HYLN, it is trading at a significant discount. And in reality, a lot of institutions and hedge funds did strongly believe around the $10-11 mark was the bottom. Unfortunately, we did break that, and there is even some as far as ETFs that are physically shorting HYLN as of right now. But as of late, there hasn't really been that many actually physically adding. There has been some closing out their position by 21%, 12%, some adding by 20%. Again, those are ETFs, so they do rebalance at the end of every year. But there is a lot of support when it comes to HYLN. And I want to show you this as well. So as of right now, Q3 2021, as far as hedge funds, there were 722,000 call options being purchased by hedge funds just in Q3 of 2021, a decrease of 7% over the quarter prior. But at the end of the day, that's not that big of a deal. Still 722,000 call options being purchased. That definitely shows a huge anticipation for an upside when it comes to HYLN, and you can see all 13 F filers, 5.1 million total call options. So again, there is a lot of support despite the price going down. So in addition to that, just want to draw your attention to the live ticker that is going. So you can see it is currently down 0.84%, 1.3 million shares being traded as of right now, whereas the average is 2.5. But I want to again draw your attention to block volume, 12,000 shares being purchased today. That's just by institutions. So when it comes down to the support aspect, there is a lot of support, both with call options and actual physical shares. So when it comes to this website, so Fintel, everything is typically delayed. And I bring this up because I know a lot of retail investors do physically like to see what institutions are doing, typically to mimic them, but at the end of the day, nothing wrong with that. If that's your investing style, so be it. But again, this is why I bring this up. In addition to that, one very good thing when it comes to HYLN, as much as it's gone down in price, as far as its basic balance sheet, $433 million in total cash equivalents and short-term investments versus $9.5 million in debt. So yes, it might not necessarily be following its day-to-day operational plan, and things might not be going its way as of right now, but they do have sufficient cash to actually survive for quite some time. So that is one very good thing at the end of the day that I really like. And this is just a basic chart that you can see as far as some company events. Unfortunately, despite the huge amount of effort coming from the company and doing a lot of corporate events and attending a lot of conferences, it hasn't really done well for the actual stock at the end of the day. With that, just want to transition, do a little bit of technical analysis. So as you can see, 50, 100, and 200-day moving averages, Bollinger Bands, RSI, stochastic, and momentum. So overall, pretty good representation, everything you need to know. So just zooming in right now, we are currently lower percentile of the Bollinger Band, well below all the moving averages in that regard. Looking at RSI, it is fairly neutral at 41, typically around 30 or lower. That is when it's a very good buying opportunity. Stochastic, there is a little bit of a deviation starting to occur, so the red line is above the black, showing a little bit of a bearish trend. Momentum, despite everything, we are actually getting a little pop. Small little pop, but that isn't showing the number of buyers are actually increasing, which is good at the end of the day. Shows definitely a lot of interest when it comes to HYLN because it has been hit quite hard, and like I've been saying, it is at an extreme discount in my opinion, especially what it can actually offer in the future. Because when it comes to HYLN, it's not going to be a 1-2 month kind of investment. You are thinking years out, and that's where it'll benefit for HYLN, because at the end of the day, it's going to be the patient investors that make the most. With that said, just want to quickly transition and do some resistance and support levels, go over that. So as far as resistance levels, you can see $6.26 as far as first, second is $6.60 and $6.80. On the contrary, first support level, as you can see, $5.72, second is $5.52 and $5.18. We did reach a low today of $5.88, but definitely we are having a big gap, as you can see. So right now you can see the first support level is $5.72, and basically the first resistance is $6.26 and then $6.60. There is a big gap that we can easily go up. All it needs is the right catalyst, or just overall less fear in the overall market, because when it comes down to it, like I've already mentioned, there's inflation fears, there's a constant COVID fear coming in and out. And last week we had a little bit of a calm when it came to COVID, but again, Monday came and it just resurged back with 2022 just kicking ass, unfortunately. But at the end of the day, HYLN is a very good investment. It is going to be a bumpy road, but based on how I see things, I do see that there is very little downside at this price, because as of right now, even if you look at the actual chart, we were trading at the high 50s, and right now we are at $6, give or take. That is a huge decrease in price, and especially considering as of right now, I do strongly think that around $10 is the actual intrinsic value of HYLN. But keep in mind, I'm not a financial advisor, so do your own due diligence. But how I see things right now, the technicals aren't the best, but like I said, it's more of a long-term investment, and once they do get a lot of things sorted out, this will be very profitable, especially considering they are in a very niche market that once it does actually get established, that is going to be very impressive. It's going to be a lot of good things. Also, another plus is there's not a lot of competition, but again, that is also seen as a negative because market share can easily be taken away very fast, and HYLN as of right now is fighting for that. With that though, let me know your thoughts on HYLN in the comments below. If you haven't already, smash the thumbs up and subscribe. I greatly appreciate that. If you do like my channel and support the growth, take a look at my memberships, link in the description below, or just hit the join button at the bottom of the screen. Greatly appreciate that. With that said, appreciate you guys watching, and let's all make a lot of money on HYLN.